Hi friends, Vika here. It is April, that means it's a new month, and a new month means a new reading list. And I'm sorry to tell you, but a lot of the books that I said I was going to read in March, I didn't actually finish. I overestimated how much I was going to read during spring break, which was not a lot, to be honest. And so a lot of the books that I said I would read in March are being carried over. Yeah, without further ado, let's get started. The first book I need to start actually and finish is The Winter's Kiss by Mary Rutukowski. For this one, I picked it out of one of my jars, and it was the book that was given, and I did not start this at all, and I need to finish it. What this is about, this is the final book in a series. Honestly, it's been years since I read the other books, but all I remember is I enjoyed it. There's a lot of like political stuff. It's in a different world setting. It's not necessarily fantasy, but it's like it's just a different world. Next book I have to finish is The Last Star by Yancey. I started reading this in March. I got 30% of the way through. The thing is, I remember I had started this before. This is the final book in the Fifth Way series, which is like an alien invasion and apocalypse happening kind of thing, and this girl living through it. This has a ton of different perspectives. This is the final book in the series, and the thing is, like, this book kind of ruined my reading. Because, like, I was reading it, I'm just, like, reading it just to get through it, not reading it because I enjoyed it. And, like, I was just reading it, and I was not excited about it, so I just need to push through and finish it, because I do want to see how the series ends, where it's going to conclude, what happens, and everything like that. But I'm not really invested in any of the characters anymore, or the storyline. I just want to know for the sake of knowing, not because I'm just, like, intrigued by the writing style or anything. I'm kind of just, like, over it, and just tell me what happens kind of thing. But yeah, like, I just need to sit down one day and just finish it. I'm 30% of the way through, and yeah, it should be fine. The next book that was on my March TBR that I have to finish is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. It's on my Kindle. I have it from the library. I think it's due tomorrow, so I have to finish it ASAP. I'm about 25% of the way through, and I'm going through it really quick because I had only started it just yesterday because whatever stuff happened, and I just need to finish it, and I'm really liking it so far. So what Vicious by V.E. Schwab is about is basically these two scientists, these two boys in college. They're interested in extraordinaries, EOs, which is basically people with superpowers or have extraordinary or like superhuman abilities, and they figure out how to become one. And so they do this, except instead of becoming heroes, they become villains, is what the premise of the book is. So that's kind of cool, and there's like a lot of revenge and stuff happening in the book, and it's super fun so far. But the thing is, when I was reading it, I was like, that's not what college is like. Nope, not at all. Maybe I'm just not that smart, but that's not what college is like. And so those are just the books that were on my March TBR, and so let's get started in the books that I'm just going to be putting on my April TBR. I had a series of Fortune Events, the first book, The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket. I feel like everyone knows what this is about. I never read this as a child, but I went to the bookstore and I saw it and I was like, I want to read it. I really do. And so I have started reading it. I'm about a third of the way through also, and yeah, I'm going to finish this probably in like a few days. It's really, really quick. It's just, you know, a little elementary book, but it's good. And so for the next two, I figured since I already have like quite a few books on my TBR, the next book I have checked out from the library is The Assassin's Apprentice. It's on my Kindle. And by Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. And so what this is about a bastard boy. He's the son of the should-be king, but he gets trained to be an assassin instead, is from what I'm getting so far. Yeah, it's good. I like it so far. Why do I just start a ton of books? This is the thing I do. I start a ton of books, but I don't finish them. Like, it takes, like, like, when I'm in a reading slump, I just start a bunch of books, but I don't finish any of them. So I have started, like, all of these books that I've mentioned so far, but I'm, you know, like, the same amount of way through, like, 15 to 30% of the way through of each of them. So I don't know how I feel about that. So for the next two books, I'm going to pick the two books from the jars just to, you know, clean up my shelves. So one jar has the 19 books I want to read in 2019, and all of them are listed in here. And then the other one is just all the books on my shelves that are unread kind of thing. So I just go through the books quickly so I don't have to, you know, whatever. So the first book that I'm choosing from my 19 in 2019 is, oh, okay, The Cage Queen by Kristen Ciccarelli. So that's right here. I'll get it out in a second. Okay, so the book that was chosen for my jar is The Cage Queen by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is the sequel to The Last Name Sarah, which is about a princess. She's a dragon hunter in this land, and she's basically feared by everyone, and things happen, and she starts learning different things, and she comes across a slave, and her mind starts changing about a lot of things, and starts making a friend, and this takes off from exactly where the second book left off. The thing is, I'm kind of nervous about getting into this one though, is because I thought that the first book, The Last Name Sarah, was gonna be just like a standalone novel, and I went into it reading it like that, and I loved it. I did. I think I gave it like 4.5, maybe 5 stars, and I really enjoyed it because I hadn't really read much with dragons before, and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't want there to be a sequel because I was like, I liked it where it ended, and I don't know where it's gonna go, and I don't know if I'm like where it goes, but I'm honest, this is shorter than the first book. My sister's borrowing it right now, so I don't have it on hand, but yeah, so I feel like this will be, I'll get through this really quickly because I did get through the other one really quickly once I had started it, and I read it not too long ago, like within the past year, so I feel like this is going to be a great sequel to read because I still have the majority of the thing, like I haven't forgotten a lot of the characters, a lot of the plot and stuff, so I feel like it's pretty good. It'll be a good one. Yeah. And then the final book for the just unread on my shelves, let's see. Oh, that one just fell out of the thing. So, okay. Johnson. Yes! Okay, I really wanted to read this book this month. Okay, this is a sign, but this is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Oh, where'd it go? I literally just put it away. All right, so the next book I got, the final book I'll be reading this month, on my list at least, is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So this is I've been reading some mystery. I read Agatha Christie last month. I'm just like, I want more mystery. I want to solve some more things. And so this is a YA mystery novel. What this is about is a girl. She is really into true crime and solving just crimes that happened in the past and cold cases, and she gets accepted into this one elite boarding school where it's like this weird boarding school where like you don't have to be really smart, but you just have to be really, really good at something, and she's good at solving crimes. And so at this boarding school, about when it was first founded in the 1930s, there was a crime that had happened. I think it was either a kidnapping or a murder. Like the owner's this big oil tycoon, his daughter and his wife, I believe, were kidnapped or murdered or both, and it was never solved. And so she's solving this crime that happened at this school. And so there you have the two timelines of what was happening in the 1930s and present day of her trying to solve it, I believe. And yeah, it sounds super interesting and super promising, and everyone who I have seen who has read this has loved it, and I know I'm gonna love it because that is just right up my alley. I love mysteries, and so yeah, that's gonna be a really, really fun one. I'm so happy this was on my list, but I can't read this until I finish the other books. I can't start another book. So those are the books on my TBR this month. What do you think? Have you read any of these? Let me know. I'm actually super excited. It is a new term. It is actually my final term of my bachelor degree. That's super crazy to think about, but it's happening. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.